Penguin Random House Audio presents Dead Man's List by Karen Rose. Read for you by Hillary Huber. To the memory of Loretta Barrett. Unlike Sam's mom, you made banana bread that was a delicious treat to whoever was lucky enough to receive it. I miss you, Mom. And to Martin, my rock, I love you. Prologue. Carmel Valley, California, Friday, January 6th, 9:45 p.m. It was, Kit thought as she drew her jacket tighter, too cold to be sitting out in the barn. But McKittrick House, despite its homey warmth and delicious smells of apple pie and clean laundry, was not where she needed to be right now. There were too many people in the big house. She loved them all, her parents, her brothers and sisters, foster kids, all 15 of them. It was the first Friday of the new year, and they'd gathered to celebrate. They were one big, truly happy family. They were one big, truly nosy family. Everyone wanted to know if she'd had her date with Sam Reeves yet. She had not, and she might not. Their second date, which had been hanging over her head for more than a month, was now upon her. She'd spent 6 months during the spring and summer avoiding the police psychologist. Because I was scared. She'd known that she'd hurt him eventually because she was shit with relationships, and Sam deserved better. But then she'd agreed to go on one date, and, in a moment of weakness, asked him on a second. That had been over a month ago, and life had interfered. But now it was time to face the music. And I'm still scared. Cold feet, she muttered to herself. It's just cold feet. She shifted on the hay bale, glad she'd had the presence of mind to throw a saddle blanket over it before she'd sat down. Hay bales looked like perfect seats, but they were prickly as hell. Like me, she thought with a sigh. Her sigh echoed back to her, and Kit stiffened. She thought she was alone. "Hello?" she called. "Come on out, whoever you are." One of the stall doors opened, revealing a teenage girl with pink and blue streaks through her sandy blonde hair. "Rita, what are you doing out here?" Her foster sister, soon-to-be legally adopted sister, stepped into the dim light. "I needed some quiet. Want to sit and be quiet with me? Or I can leave." Rita's smile was wobbly. "I'd like to sit and be quiet with you." She sat on the bale, Kit's arm wrapping around Rita's thin shoulders. "You're not wearing a coat. You're going to freeze out here." "I'm fine," Rita said with a condescending huff. "It's not that cold." But Rita was trembling, so Kit tightened her hold. "Mom and Pop know where you are?" Rita nodded. "I didn't want them to worry. Thank you." Kit would say no more, giving Rita the quiet she'd requested. If the girl wanted to talk, Kit would listen. Rita sighed again, long and loud. "Cold feet, huh?" Kit frowned. "Did you hear me say that?" "Yup. You're going on that date tomorrow, Kit." Kit's frown became a scowl. "Says who?" "Says me. And Mom and Pop, and all the others back at the house. You're meeting Sam tomorrow for your date in the desert if we have to tie you up and drive you there ourselves." "That's kidnapping," Kit said lightly, wishing she were certain the family wouldn't do such a thing. But they just might. They liked the psychologist, who, for some reason, still seemed to want to date Kit. "I could arrest you. It would be worth it." Kit let go of Rita's shoulders to cross her arms tightly over her chest. "Damn girl," she grumbled. Rita laughed, a sweet sound that they were all hearing more often these days. "You will go, right?" Kit shot Rita a sour look. "I don't know." Rita shook her head. "Kit, what are you afraid of?" Kit exhaled quietly. "I don't know." Rita put her arm around Kit's shoulders, and Kit's heart cracked a little. She loved Rita so very much, even though the girl could be a little shit when it came to Kit dating Sam. "You want to know what I think?" Rita murmured. I don't know, Kit said again. Too bad. I'm going to tell you anyway. I think you're scared you'll like him too much, that you'll have too good a time and he'll want a third date. Am I close? Yes. Maybe. I also think you've had too much time to build this up in your mind. You were supposed to have this date over a month ago, but things happened, and it got drawn out and out and out. Defensiveness coiled in Kit's gut. Not my fault. It really hadn't been. No, Rita said, speaking carefully now. You had a case, and Sam understood that. He had an emergency with one of the teens at the shelter, and you understood that. Then you had another case, which, by the way, I don't think you had to work that weekend. I think that was you having cold feet. She was right again, Kit thought. It rankled, being called out by a 14-year-old. How would you even know that? I asked Connor when he came last week to bring Christmas presents for Mom and Pop. He said the case was important, but not so much that you couldn't have investigated the next day. He was peeved that he had to cancel his date with Cece because you got scared of your date with Sam. Kit blew out an irritated breath. Her partner in the homicide department had a big mouth. Connor Robinson told you that? He did, Rita chuckled. Then he begged me not to tell you that he'd said that because he was afraid you'd get even with him. He'd be right, Kit said darkly. Besides, Sam canceled most of the dates, not me. Well, yeah, his father went into the hospital. Sam's father had had a small stroke, and while he'd be okay, Sam had spent most of December in Scottsdale. Kit had meant to drive to Arizona to be there for Sam, but she'd lost her nerve. She hated herself for that. But Sam's father's stroke had made her paranoid about leaving Harlan and Betsy. They were about the same age as Sam's dad. That something could happen to them was terrifying. You know too damn much, kid, she said, sounding petulant to her own ears. Rita tightened her hold on Kit's shoulders. Kit, you like Sam. I know you do. What's the worst that can happen? That I'll fall for him. That I'll come to need him. That he'll come to need me. And that was too much responsibility. Since when are you a therapist? She asked, a little more nastily than she'd intended. Since you needed one, Rita shot back, unfazed. Look, you can talk to me or not, but don't cancel your date. Please, I think you need him. Kit's chin came up. I don't need anyone. That's a lie, Rita said softly. And you promised that you'd never lie to me. Kit sighed. Once again, the kid was right. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to yourself? Kit's lips twitched. You've been picking up techniques from Dr. Carlisle. Rita's therapist was Sam's boss, and the woman made Kit nervous. She, and Rita, saw far too much. Yes, I have. I'm thinking about being a therapist, too. I thought you wanted to be a cop. Maybe I do. I'm 14. I've got time to decide. Time. That was the one thing Kit wasn't sure that she had. She did want this date with Sam, and she was scared. But time was passing, and, as so many helpful people had reminded her, someone else might snap Sam up. Because he was a good man. Too good for me. Why are you out here? Kit asked, desperate to refocus their conversation. What's bothering you? Rita studied her, her gaze cagey. I'll tell you, if you promise to go on that date and not stand Dr. Sam up. Kit closed her eyes. Why is this so important to you? Because I love you, Rita said, so softly that Kit nearly missed it. Shit. Kit's eyes burned. No fair. Rita shrugged. I calls 'em like I sees 'em. Which was one of Kit's favorite phrases, using my words against me. Brat. Promise me, Rita murmured. Fine, I promise.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?